Welcome, it's me. My name is Acrillus. Welcome to the DreamLeague Season 11 Losers Finals, also known as the Stockholm Major Losers Finals. Two teams to come up here. One team heads to finals against Vici Gaming. One of the teams already lost to Vici Gaming recently. That team is Fnatic. Sent down here to losers finals face off against Virtus.Pro, who, if I remember correctly, has had to fight their way through the entire losers bracket, if I remember correctly, against some pretty hard opponents. Going through, I think, LGD as well as Secret. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I am not able to do some coverage for the losers quarters, but we'll get right into this game itself. I'm confident that both teams here are looking pretty solid overall. Solid overall. Fnatic with a pretty convincing performance in their past couple games in the winners brackets, looking pretty solid overall with the strategies they're playing. Ice as well as the rest of the squad being pretty on point. Should note Jabs making a lot of good plays with his support in the last couple games. Being pretty pivotal with his things like the winner's curse that he kept getting onto I think Vici Gaming's composition. Or was that the previous team? Might have been LGD. We'll get right into it. The first ban's coming out from both sides. Fnatic opting for the Razor ban. Virtus.Pro going to respond with the Lifestealer ban, as well as an Enigma ban. Nothing too much to say about the Razor ban. Pretty typical overall. Just a mid laner that can be kind of flexed towards safe lane in some situations. That's just overall really hard to deal with in this meta. The spell piercing static link really making it just hard, as well as just the prominence of a lot of BKBs and supports that can't really do anything past a BKB unless you're specifically drafting one. But yeah, not really an easy pick or to deal with, as is the Lifestealer, which kind of like I said before in previous videos, kind of molds comps around him if they do decide to pick up Lifestealer, which in many cases is picked up very early. So we're gonna look that out. As you take a look at a couple of the other picks here, or the bands here, Enigma coming out, as well as the response with the Doom. Enigma being a pretty good hero for both sides here. DJ, I think, being the best Enigma performance in the tournament in that one game against what I believe to be was Secret. It might have been Virtus.Pro, but I'm not too sure. Can't remember for sure. But DJ had probably the best Enigma performance so far in his career, I think, personally, in a professional game. So he did really well with that. Virtus.Pro going to pay respects to that and leave it out as the Doom gets banned too. Off lane just being a really generally annoying laner. The Devour giving you health regeneration while you're processing that monster in your stomach. Making Doom a really consistent and somewhat an offlaner that can't really be moved out of lane unless you kill him, which is also still very hard, by the way. And also has some tools of pressure, not to mention Doom being a really pivotal ulti. As Fnatic using up some of the reserve time, giving me some time to cover this Nyx ban. The Nyx ban in position 4 going to be out from Virtus.Pro. Yeah, it's something that is really nice. The Vendetta making it a lot easier to set up ganks and stuff like that. Vision as like True Sight being mostly used just for wards specifically. Detection really isn't committed until later in the game, around like the 10 or 15 minute mark, where teams are kind of just starting to group up and are more certain that with the people they're rolling with that they can secure kills. As the next ban from Fnatic got to be Lone Druid, just an overall really nice flex pick. Kind of a laner that really doesn't ever really lose lane, unless you get really pressured by like a tri-lane or something like that. But it can fit like mid as well as off lane and safe lane in some occasions. But yeah, it's just a really flexible pick that enables you to split push as well in many cases. So Virtus.Pro going to pick up the Pangolier in response. A very strong hero in this meta. Surprisingly left both the heroes locked in right now by each team have I think really high win percentages as well as just really influential performances in team fights. Pangolier obviously having that rolling thunder being a really nice ability that allows you to kind of take command and zone people out as well as just lock people down really neatly. The Oracle being a nice opportunity to have a strong laner as well as just a pretty pivotal ulti that has a long range, allowing you to both purge and deny the death of your target. So really nice for a lot of aggressive carries, something like a Phantom Assassin, as Fnatic picked that up as well. Here, MP most likely going to be the one to take that As yeah, I mean,
10
pretty
seconds
strong
remaining.
safe lane is locked in for Fnatic, so the response, in all honesty, would be
5
the
seconds left.
Pangolier in the
Don't freeze
offlane to
up.
match up against
Dire
it,
team's
as
turn
well
to
as
ban.
like to be Shadow Demon here actually from Virtus.Pro. The Shadow Poison being
Radiant
a nice
team
tool
ban.
to give him some give him the ability to trade off, as well as just commit to like all ins and stuff if you have just some things that can keep him in place. Might be not as good against a Phantom Assassin who has the Blink Strike available, but against the Oracle it should be pretty potent. So we might see a couple
Dire
different
team ban.
reactions here depending on how things shape out. Apologies, you guys can hear me really properly. I think the microphone is facing the other way. We'll be in the second ban phase here. Looks like the priority is on the offlaners, as it has been in a couple of the recent games in this tournament. Tidehunter going to get locked out, as well as the Timbersaw. Ice having just a pretty trademark performance on Timbersaw in this tournament. Looking really
10
good, as
seconds
not
remaining.
really a comfort pick for many other offlaners in the past couple
5 seconds
games that I've
remaining.
seen. So it's really proficient pick for Fnatic. Also enabling like a hero that requires mana regen, so Atos is
Radiant
a
team ban.
convenient buy for him as well, which unlocks some of the mid lane picks to be more available for Abed. But the response ban is going to be the Puck. Tidehunter is an interesting ban too. Not really seeing too much of it, but I guess Pasha being a pretty proficient Tidehunter, as well as it just like being strong nowadays. What since Anchor Smash scales off of your
10
right click,
seconds remaining.
just makes it more potent to build Flads immediately and be a really hard to
5
remove
seconds
laner.
remaining.
That's just also just being generally annoying to PA, if I remember correctly as well. But yep, taking a look at the Puck ban here, that's gonna lock Abed out from a pick that he's made really good use of in the games that I've seen him perform on it, just alleviating pressure off of his side lanes with his roams and ganks. Dream Coils just being really pivotal in fights, as well as just his performance and the ability for him to like execute his combos so fluidly just makes him so dangerous in games. And I like the respect ban out from Virtus.Pro for that, keeping him out of Abed's hands. I'd be worried if he had it. So, but I mean, the counter picks are still available, and Fnatic are locked out of just any possible counter picks for the Puck. But it is the Dream Coil is a counter to the Pangolier, as it does lock the
Radiant team's
Pangolier in
turn to
place
pick.
if he commits the Rolling Thunder, gets Dream Coiled,
Dire team's turn to
which is
pick.
pretty annoying. But it is how it is. Virtus.Pro had the knowledge that it is a counter available to them, but did not decide to ban it till later. So a missed chance by Fnatic, I guess, but also potential bait from Virtus.Pro to pick a better laner against that Puck matchup. But the Shadow Shaman going to get picked out for Fnatic as we get into the second wave of picks.
10 seconds remaining.
It being a really nice position 4 pick, enabling potential
5
to
seconds remaining.
roam into the tri lane or into a tri lane, the safe lane, as well as just roam towards mid to pressure for ganks and stuff like that. Nicest thing though being the Serpent Wards as a pretty impactful ulti, mostly for split pushing as the game transitions from the early stages to like the mid
Radiant
stage,
team's turn to pick.
which is pretty nice. I mean, it gives you like the a gold advantage, like at the point where you do start to like encounter enemies and start team fighting in like a smaller groups. We'll call it skirmishes, but yeah, Shadow Shaman really important for that. Another important hero though is going to be something like a Brewmaster, as Virtus.Pro picks that up for the offlane Pasha. Probably going to be the one to take
Dire
that.
team's turn to pick.
Yeah, the Brewmaster pick's pretty nice. It just it allows the Primal Spit to be really disruptive, especially in the backline who doesn't have really much magic immunity. So the Earth Bear as well as the Storm Bear are going to be really nice at preventing the supports like Oracle as well as the Shadow Shaman and potentially Magnus from entering the fight.
10 seconds remaining.
But yeah, the response is going to be the Magnus
5
pick from
seconds
Fnatic.
remaining.
That most likely going to be the offlane pick. So Fnatic going to save the mid lane pick for last, as the safe lane could potentially be picked up here for Virtus.Pro. They do know what they're matching up against, so it is probably better to go for your safe lane and hide your mid pick. But Virtus.Pro also do have to commit their mid before Fnatic pick their mid, so it should get counter picked either way, unless you have a convenient mid that'll be hard to counter with just one ban. Who knows? Might be a really nice decision by Virtus.Pro to do that, but we'll see how it goes through. If I'm Virtus.Pro, I'm looking for a carry that has a
Radiant
similar
team's
spike
turn to
to
ban.
Phantom Assassin, sometime around level 6. Terrorblade going to be a pretty interesting hero. Mostly used for late game scenarios, but a Terrorblade with the Yasha plus Metamorphosis is still pretty potent in fights, I'd say. If left unchecked, that is. One moment as I grab a sip of water here real quick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Alright, there we go. But yeah, last pick's gonna come out right after these final bans. If we're looking for mid lane matchups here, the Magnus is a pretty surprise pick here for Fnatic, but the Magnus doesn't fulfill its purpose really well in the mid game. Like you don't stay close enough to the Phantom Assassin to keep Empower on her, so it is kind of awkward having a position 3 Magnus when you want the Phantom Assassin to get as much farm as possible. But we'll see how Fnatic play around that. For Virtus.Pro, it's going to be a lot easier for his Terrorblade to gain farm as long as he has a relatively safer laning phase in the early stages of the game, which might be easier or harder depending on how you see this Magnus pick. The Shadow Shaman is obviously going to be pretty good against the Terrorblade, but the Shadow Demon with the poison makes it, I think, a really hard laning phase for Fnatic there. They might choose to match up their carries or go potential aggressive trial lane against that Terrorblade. Who knows? Though with the Brewmaster, it is going to be pretty difficult for MP if he does go one head-to-head against the Brewmaster. Even worse so if it's the Pangolier too.
10 seconds remaining.
But first pro gonna have to deal with the
5
Earth
seconds
Spirit
remaining.
ban, as Fnatic are potentially reading this as a Pangolier mid, it seems, which is in some cases could be likely. The Pangolier is a high priority pick, as well as just the availability of to flex it to mid lane or potentially position 3 or 4. So Fnatic gonna be aware that there is a potential to pick an Earth Spirit here and could be pretty disastrous in terms of how aggressive an Earth Spirit makes Virtus.Pro's comp, so they're gonna lock that out as Virtus.Pro opt to ban out the Morphling, and it is actually gonna be a mid lane Pangolier, it seems, as Rubik is locked in. Last, most likely gonna get picked up by Solo, the position 4 for Virtus.Pro. Fnatic read that in advance pretty well, so they should have had enough time to prepare for this mid pick. If you want to counter the Pangolier, Puck is out of the mix. Oh, I guess they probably assumed that it was a Pangolier mid once the Puck got banned out. That might have been the telltale sign. But Fnatic can use the rest of their reserve time here. 30 seconds left, so should be plenty of time to deliberate on this decision here. If I'm Fnatic, I'm lacking really any follow-up with the RP other than the Phantom Assassin with the cleave. So potentially something that has good wave clear. Maybe perhaps a Viper in this situation is potentially good against Pangolier since you rush the Atos, lock him out of swashbuckling, as well as committing with Rolling Thunder. As Fnatic side, Ember Spirit is the choice, so that's interesting. Abed gonna seem pretty confident in that matchup, it seems, as no one yet does indeed fulfill our expectations and picks out that Pangolier mid. You're gonna see Ramses on the classic Terrorblade safe lane, combined actually with possibly Roger here instead. A solo looking to pick up the Shadow Demon to lane together with Pasha, it seems. But first pro team is looking pretty solid here, as does Fnatic's. The Empower synergy is looking pretty good, I'd say. Though since Ice 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 is the Magnus, it'll be hard for him to help continuously contribute to fights. We'll see how it pans out though, but I expect Fnatic to have a kind of tougher time in the laning phase, I think. Overall for them, it's just going to be harder. Especially with the Pangolier, once he hits level 6, adding Rolling Thunder to the mix is going to make getting picks for Virtus.Pro a lot easier. But Virtus.Pro also is a team that kind of likes to take things slow, likes to make the deciding fights in the later parts of the game, which is has been a reasonable strategy for many teams, including VG Gaming, who has advanced to the finals here. So not a bad strategy, but they do have elements of the early game with the Pangolier and the Shadow Demon, so we'll see how that pans out and take a look at probably pay attention to Ramsey's build here. As we get right into game one is this best 3 losers finals again, as I previously mentioned. Should be a good overall match. I'm excited to see how Abed does on this, or Ember Spirit actually. I want to see how the matchup is mid for him as we get straight into game 1. Give me a quick second here to take control with my configuration
Prepare for battle.
as we get straight into game 1. Like I said earlier, not sure why I said that again, but take a look at the starts out here from both sides. Looks like, yep, pretty typical lane assignments for Fnatic. Abed gonna walk up here is Jabs coming up with the rest of the team. A 4-man squad on the top side of the jungles. MP just content with sitting here in this side lane, hiding in the tree line, making sure he doesn't get spotted, just in case Virtus.Pro do something odd with the lane assignments. Where's that hero Jab? He doesn't have it. Oh man. Roger merciless with the bullying. Oh no, he doesn't have Backup car. No. Dang. But yeah. Looks like everything's pretty typical in terms of lane starts here. Could potentially be some fighting as Ramses walks up in the top jungle here. Encountering DJ at the bounty rune. Not aware, it seems like, that yep, the rest of the Fnatic members are here. Jabs along with the Ice. Surprise! You're losing this rune.
Let's get
As
moving.
not really too big a surprise. Pretty typical lane approach. Just like how they do the early game. Just grab the 2 top side runes for the Radiant, as well as the 2 bottom runes for Dire. Not really too much to say about it, as Solo actually the one on the... No, Solo actually going to be the one to safe lane here with Ramses as Roger. Ought to be with Pasha. Was it always that assignment? I don't know. I'm too tired right now. Not in a good mindset to host to cast this best of 3, but I'm trying to push up the schedule a little bit, so we'll see how things go. Ooh, keep that out of the video. But an early metamorphosis from Ramses here. It's a nice approach to a Terrorblade lane. Getting the early metamorphosis on the first wave. It's still missing the range creep. Oof. Okay, never mind. That was kind of bad, but yeah, the level 1 metamorphosis just enables you to kind of have presence in a lane and make it easier for you to kind of control things. But Ice carrying the minion wave all the way over to his tower, so it's in a pretty hard to approach position. As Ramsey's gonna continue to take punishment from the Radiant Wave. Pretty good lane management overall, but I'm interested to see how this lane pans out. Not sure no one really has any advantage in this lane, unless he just gets a nice lucky shot proc off. We'll see how it goes though. But should also potentially dodge a good amount of those swashbuckles with Sleight of Fist. But yeah, hardest lane should be here for Fnatic, or for Virtus.Pro, as Roger potentially a bit of trouble. Fortune's End gonna return for a quick second. Potentially bad idea to go on the opposite side, as the TP's gonna get committed for him. Bring him back over to the tower so he's safe and sound. Kind of upsetting that he had to use his TP for that, but it is what it is. This is on the opposite side. Fnatic also in an aggressive position, pressuring Solo here. Gonna pop his salve here as no one gets a double damage. Make it a little easier from the last hit actually, so that's pretty nice.
Middle tower is under attack.
But as we see the first couple waves come out, you do see advantage to Abed slightly. No one go pretty even actually overall, so that's not really too much of an issue. MP and Ramses looking pretty similar in farm. Both doing really well here. Is disruption out on a DJ. Ice is gonna get skewer on a Solo back in the tower, as DJ just gonna commit his TP and make sure that he's gets out of there safely. A good choice just to play on the safe side, as potentially some trading across the lanes. Fnatic are really looking to be pretty aggressive here in the laning phase, as DJ gets him powered up to increase his right-click damage. But yeah, I mean, really, what are you waiting for? MP is probably gonna be the one to farm the most on the map. And they're probably going to expect Abed to participate in a lot of ganks and be like that early aggressive Ember Spirit once he hits 6. It'd be interesting to see what he chooses. I think Phase Boots Drums is usually the typical build for Embers want to fight early, but that might be different, as the disruption actually goes out from Ice, pushes Ramses into the tower. Shackle's actually going to get onto him. He's not going to be able to redirect the aggro on the tower. Tower going to pick him up in exchange for DJ's life, as first blood unfortunately claimed by Ramses there, so he gets a little more bonus gold, but Fnatic also picked up the kill afterwards, so he loses that gold immediately. I don't know how much of that advantage that is, but first blood going down to the way of Virtus.Pro. Not exactly the way we want to see it, as Ramses trades his life for it, so that's going to be the gold lost from mostly from the safe lane. But he does manage to pick up 2 Wraith Bands, so still kind of steady prey here with Metamorphosis still available. A nice play overall from Ice 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 to get that good skewer into the tower. But yeah, I mean, you're going to expect MP to get empowered here in the later parts of the game and start mass farming jungle creeps and camps. Ice 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 also just has the potential to do that, since he most likely is going to be leveling the shockwave for laning phase, so the empower really is going to be a late game option. It's I'm kind of eager to see what happens here, as actually a gank from Jabs resulting in a nice kill on the no one. Constantly getting pressure in the lane, so it's a pretty good pickup from him. Jab's gonna make a hasty retreat as Roger gets as much chip damage off on him as he can. The ping's going out into him as Roger does have Fade Bolt up. No mana for the follow-up telekinesis though, which is in 10 seconds, but Jab's just gonna get out safely. Not much else to worry about for him, as Roger just sticking around the high ground just in case Jabs makes a return trip. Excuse me. That won't be the case, however, as he does get zoned out for the bounty runes here. More bounty rune trading just gonna go down, even trade across, so not much of a change in gold, as Fnatic have a slight gold lead here. Take a look at the net worth overall, as Abed picking up on his last hits here. Overall, pretty even. Worst one here is going to be Ramses, who's in a bit of a slump since he just died recently. But he should catch up relatively quickly. I mean, this Terribly with the Illusions is probably as efficient as you get at the earliest spike for your hard carry, right? Like, the Illusions are, I think, one of the better tools for farming, other than having like a hard carry Magnus or something. I don't know. Or Sven. Sven too. Sven too, just max cleave early. I don't know if that's a build, but I don't think it's a build. That would be crazy. Back in the old days, we got Iron Claw, Iron Talon. Jungle with like half the lineup. But yeah, MP is going to be farming mostly without the hate of the Magnus there. Shouldn't expect it to be, as River Rune's mostly being in the command of no one. Really needs it though, because the bottles provide the regen. He needs to stay in lane as Abed. Does have level 6. Not yet using it to make a rotation here. Instead, DJ actually going to try for the rotation into the lane, as Pasha gets hit with that Fortune's End, along with the Shackles. Should be able to lock him up pretty quickly. Purifying Flame's going to be that finishing blow, as he just get picked up. Advantage Fnatic, building up that first 1k gold lead, as expected for a team that is decisively more aggressive in their early parts of the game than Virtus.Pro ever really are, as Abed really proving my point here, walking up past the tower between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Not really afraid of no one, as the double damage combined with the swashbuckle not really having too much effect. TP from no one actually towards the bottom lane. Looks like he's making a rotation. Possibly looking to use his Rolling Thunder here for a fight, as Fnatic get pushed back to their tier 1 tower. Pasha to go with Roger, maybe looking for a play with the Telekinesis Rolling Thunder combo. So no one also does have a double damage still in his inventory, but the Radiant Wave does spot him out, so he's going to back up. The ward also being a nice way to spot him out. Ramses, oh, almost dying the Radiant to the Ancient Camp. But yeah, like I said, the Illusions are going to enable him to be pretty efficient with his farming earlier on. The Metamorphosis making it the easiest Ancient Camp claim for him. Ice Ice is going to stick around in this lane for a little longer. Does yet have the max shockwave for the advantage here, as we do see Roger getting caught out again. Unfortunately for him, probably going to be another kill over the weight of the safe lane of Fnatic. How much gold is that really going to the way of them? Like, it's here 200 gold swing every time, right? And there's 2 or 3 kills on the supports. It's about 600 gold overall based off of kills alone. 800 if you count the 4th kill, that is. That was on Ramses, I believe. But, yeah. I mean, I did say there's potential for Virtus.Pro to be aggressive here. Potentially use like something like a Tri-Lane or something of that sort, but looks like they aren't really going to be able to capitalize off of that, as the only rotation they have made with no one was unsuccessful, to say the least. But we can be optimistic. MP Looking with his build set to just go straight TPS. Looks to be Yasha does so. Probably into a BKB and then a Basher. Which, I mean, the second item BKB doesn't seem like a too bad idea here, since no one is going to be the main reason Virtus.Pro ever commit to a fight, as he does charge up the Rolling Thunder. Does have to commit it, afraid of the Remnant response there from Abed, as he does pop the Shrine to get the mana to allow him to escape. A nice little U-turn there from the middle laner. Pretty good. I would say it was not necessary, but especially if you go back to base, you're wasting it. But a neat trick, enabling him to get some mana regen back. But yeah, I can't really expect much else out of him right now. Needs to play pretty carefully here. Fnatic do have the advantage. Roger's pretty much unlocked to do what he needs to do, but he can't go top because they can't really contest top right now, as Abed has the Empower and is just looking to fight. But the fact that Ice there with Empower means that Abed can also farm the jungle too, so that's a double whammy for Fnatic, as Virtus.Pro looking to make a play in the bottom lane. MP just gonna clear out a dodge there. Potentially could get pressured here if he decides to stay for this jungle camp, as Virtus.Pro... Nope, that's actually a ping out from Abed. Perhaps indicating there might be a ward there, as they do spot the solo walking up around that high ground. But yeah, Virtus.Pro get the advantage in this, or the priority in this lane, but DJ is going to be able to pick up the tower before he does, which looks like, oh, wow. Really close, actually. Virtus.Pro managed to get the tower first. No real difference in gold gain or anything like that, but could potentially be a fight here, as no one does manage to get the Rolling Thunder off. Remnant gonna be able to save Abed for a good amount of time, puts him up on the high ground, on the side of the Dire though. But his boy Ice is there to help him out as Pasha, trying to make the rotation, does notice Ice there to get it with Abed. Gonna make a quick exit, so not too much issues there, as yeah, business as usual for most of the players here. See how well is Ramses doing? Does have a crown, so he's going drums. Interesting choice there, as Abed probably be the one on a Fnatic to commit to drums, as he already has it. Ice instead opting to a... Oh, interesting choice of the mechanism. So it looks like he's going Guardian Greaves. It's going to be a good choice, as like an overall tanky character. The frontliner Magnus makes it harder for... Oh, Promise to make committed for Posh here, so we're going to have to take a pause on that discussion. Stun going to go out on Ice, potentially in big search of trouble here. So he doesn't have really the items he needs to stay alive. Skiri going to be the only thing available to save his life as the RP. Oh, nicely he's committed to dodge out that Rolling Thunder. Going to be able to, unfortunately, get hit one more time as False Promise comes on to help him out. Could potentially make Jabs the victim of the aggression here as he gets picked up from Fnatic. The return could going to be onto Solo, as Pasha with Skiri not going to be able to unfortunately escape, as Pasha now possibly victim too. So the trade's back and forth there for both teams. 2-2, most likely in the favor, I think, of Fnatic, right? They traded pretty evenly across. I think it's offlaner for offlaner, and then the support kills are both... Yep, both support kills are position 5s. So again, a really even trade. Not really too much to say about it, but Primal Split was committed, as was RP. Rolling Thunder is a pretty short cooldown, so it doesn't matter too much, but I think Rolling Thunder cooldown is about... No, yeah, already about up already, so that's going to be interesting to see. False Promise is going to be another ulti that's committed, so Fnatic may be in a bit of a more uncomfortable situation, as they don't have the team fighting ultis right now, or the save type of ultis. Enable them to stay safe in this laning phase, but they should be fine. Nothing much else happening here right now, as most members of Virtus.Pro just looking to secure the farm for their carry boy Ramses, as he's trying to be as efficient as he can with his illusion farm. Posh also going to be in the jungle for a good amount of time, with the Vlad's enabling him to juggle pretty easily. But I mean, if he's safe, he should really be here, taking these jungle camps instead of risking his carry to potentially be going towards that side of the jungle being dangerous. As Fnatic just going to casually pick up a mid-tier 1. Pasha not going for the deny, unfortunately, as Roger in a bit of trouble. False Promise going to save Ice from the aggression of no one and Rogers. Rolling Thunder was actually committed in that fight, so gonna get punished for that. Roger gonna go down. Solo actually caught with a nice long shackles. The disruption not going to be enough to save his life. As Abed potentially going to try and follow up on a no one here. The Sleight of Fist with the Ether Shock doing huge amounts of damage. Swashbuckle potentially going to get him out, but the Stifling Dagger, Tia with the Flame Guard is going to finish him off. Fnatic are in a commanding position right now, is boldly putting out the Serpent Wards before the wave comes in, but good enough timing there as they commit the Fortify there. Ice is going to try and TP out, but decides to cancel, I guess. Not really feeling the imminent danger of the mid lane, as Serpent Ward's going to be a good amount of damage onto the top tier too. Spell Steal going to come out as he steals Shockwave. Roger going to try and find a useful spell. Pretty useful. Could potentially gotten Skier too, which is probably better, I think, right now with the Telekinesis. But you get what you can take. So yeah, what are Fnatic going to do with their lead right now? Looks like MP is pretty comfortable farming. Does have a Yasha and is opting for the Desolator into the BKB, so yeah, I think he's confident he can pick up the Desolator at the same timing that he really needs the BKB to fight, so he might just be looking to be more so the back end of the DPS from Fnatic and really not be on the front line as much, or just really have to make the 2 seconds that he's not hit by Rolling Thunder count when he blink strikes in. Who knows? But it'll be hard for him to enter fights if he just doesn't have spell immunity at this point in the game, 15 minutes in. Can't say the same for Virtus.Pro though, as they are actually positioning potentially to make a move on mid, but decide not to as they are spotting out Abed on the river, looking for the bounty runes. Does pick it up. Nice reactions from here. Jumps immediately back into his remnant and away from the area as he Spidey senses are tingling right now. Spotted him in the river together with those illusions. So nice play from him. Yeah, Fnatic are doing well to avoid a lot of the aggression from Virtus.Pro. The rotations they are making are pretty obvious and aggressive, so it's not too hard to avoid, but he does a good job nonetheless, surviving those. It would be kind of a different game if they kept continuously getting picks when they made those rotations, so. I mean, Virtus.Pro aren't really being like dead fish right now. They're just kind of biding their time, as the smoke out from Fnatic could potentially spell danger here for no one, or the target might just be Ramses here as the Primal Sprute gets committed here. Pasha making a nice read in advance of what's happening. Stun going to go out from the Earthbearer on MP as Jabs gets locked up in the Tornado. Unfortunately, that's going to make it so it's impossible for him to protect his carry, as Fnatic in a dangerous position. False Promise going to keep Jabs alive as the Serpent Wards locks Ramses in. Potential disruption as the disruption going to keep him safe for a bit of a moment as the displacement lets him get out of the Serpent Wards. So he's safe as it's a 1-for-3 or 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Virtus.Pro. Looks like they found the fight they were looking for. Pretty good fight overall. This Primal Split doing the work it needs to be and be disruptive towards the backline, denying the False Promise out from Jabs. While they finish off MP, who really didn't have anything. Yeah, like I said, I would prefer the spell immunity here, which you still can go for since you have the one Mithril Hammer. I think after that last death, you kind of realize you need something like that. I don't know. I would figure that that's what we need since you're committing to a fight so early. But who knows? Maybe it might be wrong. Might see him pick up some easy, quick kills with Blink Strike in the back line. That might just be his goal in these fights, but you can't be too sure. As Fnatic gonna have a bit of a weak engage right now since Ice hasn't opted for the immediate Blink Dagger. Abed gonna be the real aggressor here as DJ doesn't have a blink either. Remnant's gonna be the main source of initiation, probably, or a Sleight of Fist here with the Shanes. Probably the drums to give them movement speed of that sort. But yeah, the onus is gonna probably be on Abed right now. Virtus.Pro really giving up the pressure they have in the top lane. Yeah, potentially could rotate back to make an aggressive play, but Virtus.Pro are pretty much giving up the top tier too. Yep, the damage from the Serpent Wards was already too much to make them risk trying to protect that tower. It's just eventually going to go down anyway, so might as well give it up now. Pretty intelligent when they realize that. Ramsey's going to commit his TP to rotate and cover that wave. As take a look on the update in terms of the items here. Terrorblade with that Sanjiasha drums combo, looking pretty strong overall. Could potentially fight right now, but would prefer something like a BKB, I suppose. Or Satanic if you're not worried about that, because Serpent Ward gets committed for the Roshan. Potential pings coming out from Fnatic. Yep, they do know Virtus.Pro's in the area, so they're gonna pay respect to that. As Ice just gets zoned out by his mere presence here. Disruption gonna go on to Solo as the Sleight of Fist combo gets out quickly onto him. False Promise gonna go out on Ice. The Blink Strike comes in from MP, trying to pick up the kill. Solo's dead immediately. As Promise split committed together with that Rolling Thunder could potentially be very dangerous here as DJ gets picked up by the Rolling Thunder. Him gonna go down. The Prolifying Flame's gonna pick up Roger on the side as jabs another casualty there for Fnatic, but MP is still alive together with his hard carry Abed as another crit picks up the Pangolier. Pasha gonna be potentially the next victim. Yep, Searing Chain's gonna lock him up together with the damage from MP. Picks up another kill. Fnatic in the advantage in that fight. Pretty obviously winning it. 4 for 2. As Solo gonna return the lane. Potentially a bad idea. Very close position. Blink Strike gonna put him down. Shockwave gonna put him backwards, and that's gonna be a quick another kill picked up from Fnatic as Virtus.Pro Solo specifically making a slight error. It's not too bad, I'd say. I mean, it could potentially be a lot worse. Like you could just have the PA not be fighting at all. But oh my God, he got BKB. Okay, yeah, so he did what I said. Nice. Okay, so he got the BKB early, identifying that he did really need it for the fight. So instead of being a typical PA and farming in the jungle, he's just gonna go for the fighty build. And that's a good choice. I like it a lot. It has 2 salves. The importance of Mango and salves and clarity is it becomes so much more important, I think, for a lot of Dota players. As see some excitement here. Solo gonna walk straight back to where he was in danger and get picked up again by MP. Not a good idea there. Could have scouted out Shadow Poison. I'm sure he tried to, or could have also used Disruption on himself. Send an illusion in for a quick duration, but yeah. Ramses don't make the same mistake. Could potentially get Blink Strike on here, but Ice doesn't have any entryway. Just has Skewer, so that's not going to be enough as the Empower is stolen. Serpent Ward's committed for the tier 3 here. What are VP going to respond with? Roger is in the area with no one. TP coming back from Solo to come in back into lane. No more minions present, so backdoor protection should come up in a quick second. The Hex going to go out onto no one. He's potentially a bit of trouble. Guardian Greaves is going to get popped for him. Never mind the mechanism. That's going to keep him safe. MP does get hit by the Demonic Purge. We Blink Strikes to safety, so bit of a scrap there. No casualties though. So Fnatic get what they wanted, the tier 3 tower, so they can move on to the shrines if they want to, which in all likelihood is not too pressing. The top shrine really just being what they need for Roshan attempts, which is already down, so no pressure there. But shrine on the bottom side would be nice to get, as Virtus.Pro have really been reliant on their bottom side jungle for most of their farm. It'd be really a nice take for them, especially if they got the tier 1 tier in the process. I think that'd be for the best. One moment here as I need to address something real quick. Oof. Alright, cool, we're good. Fnatic gonna use the commanding lead. 2k up, 8 kills up. Gonna smoke up onto the boundary potentially here. Up on the high ground as Ramses gets spotted. His illusion's there available. The target is Roger here in the situation. The Stifling Dagger come out together with the Blink Strike. The Fade gonna pop and identify MP as the danger, but the Shackles are going to secure that kill for Fnatic. Going for the easier kill instead of trying to jump onto Ramses. Less risk, less reward, but the reward comes nonetheless a little more securely than the other kill. Yeah, like I said, the nice choice from Fnatic is going to be the rotation into the bottom lane. Gonna look for pressure on the tower, and then on the way out, probably gonna try to go for those shrines there. Vision gonna be taken over. Yep, Virtus.Pro committed a lot of vision here with their wards. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't really work out, as the vision and control they have right now doesn't allow them to stay in the jungle pretty safely. As Fnatic, Fnatic have a nice ward on the high ground. Oh, never mind, it's terrible. What is this ward? Oh, that's so sad. When did he put that up? That's so sad. Oh, this is such a waste. That one tree blocking so much information. You think it might be worth when they push high ground if the ward's still up for Abed to break the tree with the remnant? That could be the situation there. Nah, not likely, I think. Disruption is being used by the Shadow Demon to make more Terrorblade illusions, which is cool. I guess it's cool. Yeah, I mean, Virtus.Pro really just waiting for Ramses, right? Ramses has Shinji Yasha. gonna be able to finish up his Satanic in next 400, no 200 gold now since oh actually no gold now since Reaver cost 3,000 if I remember correctly. They aren't really in the position to go to Secret Shop right now. My call for it though is Ramses to go by his lonesome. Pasha getting picked up on the side lane. A little punishment for overextending, but the Serpent Wards are committed there, so he gets picked up. He's not willing to primal split for any reason, but I think he was also locked up for the full duration. So that's probably also why he died. Break the tree, Abed. I know. I know you can. Just do it. He should know that the Remnant breaks trees. And he only has 2 Remnants left. I guess he just wants to save them. Enable him to be as far and wide across the map as possible. Make this pressure really, really seemingly global, essentially, for him. No one. Doing good now. Picked up the Guardian Grease with the Maelstrom. Don't really need Maelstrom for the farming though now, because you're kind of locked out. But that's going to be how it is. Roger actually managed to pick up a Blink Dagger there, so he's been biding his time pretty well. I'd say the Rubik, yeah, not really in any... Yeah, he's been playing pretty safe-ish. DJ's played similarly, but DJ's been the one who's getting all the kills too, so that's going to be rewarding for him. As the ping actually goes out on Ramses. British Fnatic potentially trying to make a play on the carry as the Blink is there with the Hex on him. Rolling Thunder going to get channeled out in order to try to get a pick off on a DJ, but Abed is here to help his support out. False Promise goes out into him. Abed potentially going to be in trouble as the last hit of Rolling Thunder goes out into him. He's going to use his Remnants to escape. His MP goes to the Blink Strike out on no one. No one's dead. Shackle's going to go out onto Ramses. Ramses potentially in a bit of trouble here. Sunder is still available. Doesn't get off in time. Roger going to be able to be another casualty on the side as the Clee picks up as well. Primal Split going to be dangerous for Pasha. He doesn't. Oh my god. He stops microing the Fire Bear. Unfortunately, not able to get out there as GG call out their Virtus.Pro. Yeah, really surprising, but also kind of expected. I think Virtus.Pro were kind of done earlier on in the game. But yeah, I think they just realized they weren't doing well with that composition. They had to just call it a wash. So it's, unlucky, as we like to call it, in esports, in gaming in general. But yeah, victory of the first game going to go over to Fnatic in this best of 3 series. Pretty convincingly. I like the style of their composition, and overall the main defining factor was how aggressive they were in lane. So it's nice to see that. Good to see Fnatic continuing their streak of being pretty dominant in the early game. We'll see how Virtus.Pro respond in the next game. Hopefully to be a nice return. I think they were getting to a point where they could kind of fight. I really just think Virtus.Pro are not willing to pull the trigger. It's the greedy boys, right? It has to be the greed. Like, it just has to be them looking for it to continually farm and get the power spikes and, you know, risk less once they have those power spikes, but in a sense also risk the same amount. So, yeah, that's how it is. But we'll see how things pan out in game 2. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna get straight into game 2 after a quick sip of water, but you'll see that in the next video. So I'll see you around. Peace.